smallest and one of the most recent states of the world, founded in 1929 after an agreement between the newborn state of Italy and the Pope. This is the map of the Vatican state. As you can see, the state is covered by the Vatican Gardens, the private gardens of the Pope. This is St. Joseph's Basilica, the largest and the most important church in the Christian world, while the palaces that you see here are the Vatican palaces, where popes used to live during the Renaissance and all. These palaces now house the collections of the Vatican museums. So we are here now in this area. In our tour, we are going to cross from the palaces to go to the opposite side and see the Sistine Chapel, the private chapel of the Vatican palaces. Okay. So I'll show you a picture of the outside of the chapel. The chapel was built at the end of the Middle Ages in 1477 and is named after the Pope who built it, Pope Sixtus IV. So 16 from Sixtus, the name of the Pope who built the chapel. The first reason why the Sistine Chapel is famous all around the world is that the chapel houses the conclave when a new Pope is to be elected. The conclave is the meeting of the cardinals who have the right to elect the new Pope. The word conclave comes from Latin and it means locked dictative. Because during the election the cardinals are locked inside the Sistine Chapel, they're not able to leave, they're not able to communicate with the outside world. And this is why from the outside, with the sign of the start of the election, you probably know the sign is the smoke. So black smoke that the Pope has not been elected yet. White smoke that the Pope has been elected. And this one is the very famous chimney used inside the chapel for the white and black smoke, the sign for the result of the election. You won't see this chimney today, because the chimney is brought inside the chapel only for the conclave, only for the election of the Pope. Okay? The other reason why this chapel is famous all around the world is because of its wonderful frescoes, most of which were painted by Michelangelo. But you will see that not all the frescoes inside the chapel were painted by him. The frescoes of this chapel want to show you the whole history of salvation according to the Catholic Church. So on the ceiling of this chapel we have evidence of the creation of the world according to the book of Genesis, the beginning of the history of salvation. Then on the side walls of the chapel we have on one side evidence of the life of Moses, symbol of the Old Testament. And on the opposite side, the life of Jesus, the New Testament. And then at the altar we have the last judgment, the last day of the world, the end of the history of salvation. We start with a ceiling painted by Michelangelo. So Michelangelo started painting the ceiling. He was 33 years old, and it took him 4 years to paint everything, and he worked hours by himself from 1508 to 1512. So let's see the beginning of the cycle of the creation. Here we have God dividing darkness from light. So the very beginning of the creation, according to the book of Genesis, let there be light. While here you see God creating the planets, the sun, the moon, and the earth. And here you see God dividing the sea from sky, another step of the creation. While this is the famous fresco with the creation of the first man, Adam. The pink over that you see behind God has the shape of a brain, because in this moment, with this touch, God is about to give Adam the rules of life, the intellectual faculty. This is why Michelangelo tried to create a brain behind God to tell us what is going on. While here we have the creation of the first woman, Eve, according to the book of Genesis, Eve was created by God from one of Adam's feet, and we see Adam sleeping, and Eve is coming out of his body, called by God. While here we have the famous fresco of original sin, the fresco of the fall. In the center you see the forbidden tree which divides the fresco into sections. Here we have Adam and Eve still in heaven before they fall into temptation. And as you can see from their faces and their bodies, they are very beautiful, and all around we have lush vegetation. While in the center you can see the devil in the form of a snake tempting Adam and Eve. And on the opposite side you see the moment of execution from heaven after original sin. And as you can see from their faces, now they are horrible, destroyed by pain and shame. And all around, the lush vegetation has become a desert. So here Michelangelo, in a very simple way, is telling us that happiness and beauty are only possible with God and without sin. You can see this idea in the face of Eve before and after sin. So as you can see, each fresco has a specific theological message. Never forget that Michelangelo was Catholic, he was painted in the chapel of the Pope, so it's full of theological messages inside the frescoes of his. And then going on, at the end of the cycle of the creation, we have the episodes of the life of Noah. This is the famous flood. Here you can see Noah's Ark. This is Noah in post-flood weather. And all around, you see people dying during the flood. Okay, so at the end of the cycle of the creation, we have episodes of the life of Noah. So over there, you see a sacrifice made by Noah after the construction of the ark. While over here, you see the drunkenness of Noah when he discovered after the flood, discovered the land again, discovered wine, and he got drunk. Okay. So the episodes of the life of Noah will have the end of the cycle of the creation. And then all around the main cycle, you can see figures of men and women all around the main cycle. So the men are the prophets, figures that among the Jewish community were able to speak with God, while the women are the sibyls. The sibyls were figures related with the Greek and Roman tides, with the pagan tides. Women that were supposed to be able to see the future and to have a kind of connection with gods and goddesses. So sibyls and prophets are a representation of mankind's desire to have a contact with God, to know God before the incarnation of Christ. And this is why Michelangelo decided to represent them of the ceiling, because the ceiling is the history of salvation before the incarnation of Christ. So as a symbol of mankind's desire to have a contact with God. Once you are inside this chapel, you can read the names of sibyls and prophets all around the main cycle, so you can recognize all of them. Okay, so now let's go to Testament, and at the opposite side, the life of Jesus, the New Testament. The frescoes on the sidewalls were not painted by Michelangelo. They were painted by famous Italian artists who worked inside the chapel before Michelangelo's Ceiling and Last Judgment. Artists such as Perugino, Raphael's teacher, or the very famous Botticelli. The sidewalls, not by Michelangelo. On the sidewalls, the most famous fresco that you can admire is this one. I'll show you a bigger picture. So it's a masterpiece of Perugino, Raphael's teacher. And it's a very famous fresco because of the use of perspective that you can see, one of the finest examples in the early Renaissance. It's one of the episodes of the life of Jesus, and here you see Jesus represented when he's giving this man Saint Peter two keys, the golden one and the silver one. You are going to see these keys all around the Vatican state, around the city of Rome as well. These keys are also on the Vatican flag, because these keys are the symbol of the power of the Church. The golden key is a symbol of the spiritual power of the Pope as the chief of the Catholic Church, while the silver key is the symbol of the political power of the Pope. Keep in mind that in the past times, popes were kings of a huge kingdom in the center of Italy, so they had a strong political power in the past time. So with this gesture, giving the keys to Peter, Christ is establishing his church. This gesture reminds us of the gospel, which is to Peter, above you I will build my church and I will give you the keys of the kingdom of heaven. So these are the keys. Saint Peter is considered by Catholics the first pope, and every pope is considered his successor. So you can understand that behind this fresco lies an important message. The message is that the authority of the Pope must be followed because it comes directly from Jesus Christ, because each Pope is considered simply the successor. That was the important message that this fresco wanted to give inside the Sistine Chapel. So the reason why the Pope lives here and not somewhere else in Italy or somewhere else in the world is that, as you probably know, underneath the main altar of St. Peter's Basilica there is the tomb of Peter, and Peter was the first Pope and every Pope is considered his successor. Okay? So let's see the Last Judgment. So here we have the representation of the last day of the world when Jesus will judge mankind. So in the center you see the judging Jesus, here the Virgin Virgin Mary, all around saints and people saved. While in this corner we have hell. So Michelangelo painted this fresco when he was 61 years old. It took him 5 years to paint everything, and again he worked almost by himself. So right in the center here we have some angels announcing the end of the world. One of them is holding a little book and another one a bigger book. The little book is the one with the names of people saved. The bigger one, open to hell, names of people damned forever. So you can understand that according to Michelangelo, salvation is not so easy. The damned are more in number than the saved. While in this corner you see the resurrection of the bodies, the last day of the world. And all around Christ you can see some important saints. This one, for example, is Saint Peter. And as you can see, Saint Peter is representing what is giving back the keys that we have seen before to Christ, the golden one and the silver one. This is the representation of the end of the church mission. Because the church mission is to help people to know God. But at the end of the world, everyone will see God. So that will be the end of the church mission. And this is why Peter is represented while he's giving back the keys to Christ at the end of the world. And then at Jesus' feet, you can see two important saints. This one is Saint Bartholomew, one of the apostles. He was killed because he was a Christian, he died for Christ, and he died skinned alive. And now, as you can see, he's bringing his skin as a trophy into the glory of heaven. Why? Because thanks to this suffering, he was able to show his love for Jesus Christ and to save himself. So this suffering became a way of salvation for Saint Bartholomew. And at the end of the world is something that must be glorified. This is the reason why Michelangelo decided to represent him while he's showing us his own skin. In the other hand, you see the knife that was used to kill him. Okay? And by the way, the face that you can see on Saint Bartholomew's skin is a Michelangelo's self-portrait. It's a sort of signature that he left on the Last Judgment. So this is the face of Michelangelo. Opposite side, another important saint, Saint Lawrence. He was killed because he was a Christian and he died cooked on a grill. And now, as you can see, he's bringing the grill into the glory of heaven as a trophy, because thanks to this suffering, he was able to show his love for Jesus Christ and to save himself. So this suffering became a way of salvation. So this is the reason why some saints are represented by the tools of their martyrdom. And it's also the reason why at the top of the Last Judgment we have angels bringing the tools of the Passion of Christ into the glory of heaven. So here we have the cross and the crown of thorns, and on the opposite side you see the column of the flagellation and the little sponge that was used to give Christ to drink on a cross. So again, thanks to mankind, thanks to his death and his resurrection, his suffering became a way of salvation, and at the end of the world is something that must be glorified. Okay? And when you enter the Sistine Chapel, you will see that the colors of the Last Judgment are really bright, really beautiful, even compared with the colors of the ceiling. Because for the colors of the Last Judgment, Michelangelo was able to afford some precious materials. For example, the blue of the sky was made with lapis lazuli, a precious stone that gives this bright and wonderful effect, which, as you can see, was not visible at all before the cleaning, because everything was dark. Okay? So I don't know if you have questions about